Okay guys, I'm doing this because I've been asked to, so I'll go through this pretty quickly and see where we're at. That's the bottom flower pot. Stands 20 inches tall and 19.5 across on the inside diameter. This is a lid. It's a ceramic glazed lid. It has an electrical box on top. This lets the exhaust out, opens and closes. These are handles from the electrical supply house. They bolt to the ceiling. Cables run through them. You know, hanging from the ceiling, the internet cables and things. This is a nylon piece that you get from Home Depot, and I'll show you that later on. It'll help you do that. Drill a 3/8 inch hole and push that through. It's got rabbits on the side of it, and it'll help it hold in there. Then you take your temperature gauge. You get that at Academy. That slides in, screws in, just like that, no problem. Okay. You need a tube of silicone. That's what I got here. The silicone is to put on the bottom underneath the electrical box, and you glue it down inside. You come inside, and you're probably not going to be able to see this. Okay, yeah, you can. Alright, of course you make the hole a lot bigger, and then you run your bolts through. As you can see that, that's a bolt. Runs all the way through. You put silicone between the electrical box and the ceramic, and then bolt it down with 2 bolts, and that holds it tight, makes a good seal. If it's raining, you can open up these plugs on the electrical outlet box, and it'll let the exhaust out. Keeps the rain out too. Okay, and you'll need mason bits, real small ones. What you want to do with the mason bits, this is the inside of the big flower pot, is you'll take the mason bits and enlarge this hole. Just drill a bunch of really little bitty small holes and knock it out with a hammer. Then you'll put your electrical box on the bottom, silicone bead, push it up, and run your little bitty bolts through that. These are number 6 bolts with nuts and a lock washer. You just run them up through and put it on there, okay? In the top of the flower pot, the big flower pot, what you'll do is you'll drill 4 holes in the top edge, and you'll put these little bolts in them. It's probably about a 1/4 inch hole, about a 1/2 inch deep. You'll do 4 of those all the way around. What these do is these hold the grate, the 21 inch grate or the 20 inch grate that you'll buy at Academy also. This is felt. Put a bead of silicone around the top of the rim of the big flower pot, and it's a 1/4 inch thick felt, and you glue it right on top of the silicone, holds it in place. Everything works great. As you can see, the lid also has felt glued to it. A bead of silicone, put the felt on top of it, so that when you put these two together, there's no smoke and no air escaping. Okay. Next, you'll want a pizza pan. I cover mine in foil. It just helps me clean up. Aluminum pan for water, beer, whatever else you want to put in it, onions, anything you want to put. If you want to use it, you don't have to. You can. I usually don't use one, but some people like something in the pan. Then you need your grate. The grate is, I believe that grate is 19 inches. I'm not really sure. Sorry, maybe 19.5. Okay, the grate is 19 inches. Okay. Next, you'll want a 10-inch pie pan. And what you do with the pie pan is you slot it. This will go in the bottom of the big flower pot. Covers the hole. And what happens is it keeps the ashes from falling through the hole, but lets the air in around the edges. You put that in evenly spaced, which it's not. You evenly space that all the way around the inside of the big flower pot. Next, you get yourself an 8-quart pail. You can see that, 8 quarts. And what you do next is you'll cut slotted holes. I did that with a magic marker because I hadn't cut the holes yet. But you'll cut the slotted holes at the top of the pail all the way around. At the bottom of the pail, you'll cut holes to let oxygen through for the charcoal. Got it? All the way around the bottom of the pail. 10 or 12, maybe 8 holes, something like that. But you'll want to slot that all the way around the top. Next, you have 1-inch angle iron. I know this is aluminum foil, but pretend it's angle iron. This goes in the bottom of your pail, just like that. And you make a cross with your angle iron. Got it? Just like that. Okay? And that's what it looks like in the bottom of your pail. Next, you get some expanded metal. You cut it out so it fits in the bottom of your pail. That's painted blue because it's scrap. Ah, there's even more blue on that side. So anyway, this goes inside the pail on top of the angle iron. This allows oxygen to come up from the bottom. Okay. Now once you have that, you get your 2 sheets of aluminum foil and your wood of choice. Leave it even at the top, more at the bottom. And what you want to do is you want to roll this up. I'm going to try this with one hand. Roll it up nice and tight. Okay. Atta boy, doing a good job. And you see that that's open at the top. Good deal. At the bottom, you'll want to close that as tight as you can get it. Alright. Now the purpose of this is to give you some smoke. What you do with this now is you stand this up straight up in the pail. You center it straight up. You got it? Just like that. Now you take your charcoal, which we happen to have in this bucket right here. Use lump charcoal only, 100%, nothing else. And what you want to do is you want to place several pieces of this around the bottom of the wood. Got it? Alright, just keep doing it around and around and around, but make sure you keep your wood centered. That'll help it smoke. As your charcoal burns down, because it's going to start at the top and burn down, as it burns down, you will have a continuous supply of smoke from all this wood. And this charcoal is going to burn probably 15, 16 hours, maybe even more. This is a smaller pail. I've been using a bigger pail, but as time went on, I realized you didn't need such a big pail. I've been using a 16 quart, but an 8 quart will do a Boston butt for 12 hours very easily. Now, you surround that with charcoal, just like that, and you leave the top open. Got it? Now, what you want to do next is you want to get 5 briquettes. 5. And what you want to do with that is you want to put that in a chimney. I've lost my chimney. I have no idea. There it is, way over there. But anyway, you'll take these 5 briquettes and get them started. Get them really nice and gray in a chimney. Once they're really nice and gray, you take all 5 pieces. You put them in the center of this pail, right next to the wood. 1. You just put them all in the center. Do not put them on the edge of the pail. There's a reason for this. You put them in the center, around the edge. Okay? What that does, it allows the heat to expand slowly. 5 briquettes is all you need. Within 3 minutes, your smoker will be 250 degrees with 5 briquettes. So, start 5 in the middle on the top. Once you have that, and it's burning, you're good to go. You take your pail, and you go back over to your big flower pot, down inside your pie pan. You set your pail right on top of the pie pan, equally distanced all the way around. You got that? Okay. Now that we have that, we take our pizza pan. We set it on top of the pail, equally around the flower pot. This allows the heat to come up from the side, coming up, okay? Next, you take your drip pan, water pan, whatever. You put that wherever your meat's going to go. Fill it up with water. I personally don't use it, but it's a, if you want it, that's cool. Anyway, you put that in. Then you take your grate. You lay your grate right on the bolts. You see how nice that is? Okay, that's right on top. Now you got some smoke going, you got some heat going. You can grill. If you're going to grill, you leave the pizza pan off and the drip pan off, and you can grill a steak. But if you're going to smoke, you go ahead and put your grate on there. You get everything set up. Then you come over to your lid and you pick it up. Naturally, set it right on top. I'm doing that with one hand. Not bad at all. Okay, guys. And everything's like this. Now, the stand that this is sitting in came from Garden Ridge. It was an outdoor table. I just knocked the center out of it, Stuck my pot right in there. It works great. But that's all there are to it. You open the baffle on the bottom as wide as it will go to get the heat going. You open up the top exhaust as wide as it will go. Watch the temperature because it will climb fast. Once you start getting about the 210, 215 range, shut the bottom off till it's just a small crack. You don't need very much oxygen in this thing at all. A lot of times you can shut that off and it'll stay 225, 250 for 6 hours before you have to open it again. But anyway, keep your eye on it. You don't want it to get too hot because it will get 400 degrees. I imagine if you get over 500 degrees, this thing's going to shatter. But that's all there are to it. And if you need to know where to get your parts, I can tell you that also, but that's all you need.